Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Power Is Now. My name is Eric Lawrence Frazier, and I am the president of The Power Is Now online radio. Today, we are speaking to Dr. Michael Klein, and he has been doing an incredible job over the last several weeks. In the month of March and now in April, we call this Real Estate Success Month. And Michael came up with this great idea to share his experiences and some of the tactics and strategies he's used to be a successful real estate broker. Now being retired and have accumulated a lot and done a lot and achieved a lot, he's willing to share this information with us today. Thank you, Michael, again for just providing some great information. Today, we're on Real Estate Success Month, show number 6, and I'm excited about it. It's technology.
Well, Eric, thank you as always for having me. And yeah, it's fun to be retired because I can say whatever the hell I want. It doesn't really matter what I teach anybody anymore, and I don't have to worry about sharing my secrets or competing with anyone. Technology is a really interesting topic because I think a lot of the agents and brokers really don't understand it, and they're not meant to. We were all trained as salespeople. We're experts in real estate, but we're not experts in computer science. So I was one of the early adapters to technology. And back in 2000, so almost 16 years ago, I think it was the first broker, at least the first one I ever knew about, I put a computer on every single agent's desk. Not just like a little shared MLS computer. We had everybody up on a computer, on our own network, and the efficiencies and the transaction volume we created were pretty incredible. And for most of my career from that point forward, my average per agent production was about 14.7 units per year, which is it's more than twice the average and about 4 times the mode. So what you can do with technology is really quite amazing.
Well, technology has always been a game changer, just about in every industry. What industry has not been impacted by technology to increase efficiency and productivity? And clearly you were ahead of the game back then when you were willing to make that kind of investment and putting computers in the hands of every single agent. And that type of investment, it still needs to happen today, doesn't it? I mean, except that it doesn't cost as much today as it did back then when you did it.
No, to equip a full office with 100 agents, I was spending $300,000-$400,000 an office. And that includes everything: furniture, space, TIs, computers, networks, that full-time IT people. No, the fact is right now it's incredibly cheap. I mean, you can literally connect all your agents for a couple $100 a month and double their production. I think one of the things you have to understand about technology, and it's every battle, every war, every business, the outcome has been determined by technology. Okay, we can talk about the Cowboys and the Indians. Okay, the Cowboys had guns, the Indians had bows and arrows. Look who won that one.
Right. Okay?
That is reality. It's kind of like if you're not adapting to what the current technology is, you might as well bring a knife to a gunfight. You're going to lose. And the brokerage industry has gotten more and more competitive, and those who are adapting to technology are the ones who are going to own the market. Those who refuse to change are going to get left behind, and we're already seeing it. But I think the most amazing thing is we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg in the last few years of the changes. There's a lot more coming. And the early adapters who embrace technology and start to learn to understand it, and it does take a little effort. You might have to spend a few hours, God forbid, to double your income. Those are the ones that are going to survive and thrive going forward. The others are going to be left behind. It's simply the way it works. And the real estate industry itself has always been one of the slowest to adapt to technology. And I'll give you a great example. And we can use a restaurant, a doctor's office, dentist office. If you go into a restaurant, first of all, you can make your reservation online. When you get there, they check you in. The system assigns your table. It assigns your server, assigns the busboy to the table. They know who's in their restaurant, where you are, what tables are coming up free. They even know how long the average person will be at a table and when they can make the next reservation. But it's more than that. Then when the orders go into the kitchen, they get entered into the computer. So the kitchen staff sees what to cook. The server can see when the order is ready. All right. Then it keeps track of how much you've spent, tallies up your bill, processes your payment, and even the kitchen manager or head chef knows how much food went out that night and what his inventory is to turn in his order for the next morning, because if they don't have food, they don't have business. Now, that's a restaurant. Doctor's office, same thing. They track all their patients. They send you the follow-up cards. They know your prescription renewals. All right. They schedule your appointments. They track all your medical history. Then they bill all your insurance. I mean, it's all computerized. All right. That's how they run efficiently. The real estate industry and real estate brokerage is the only business that didn't go there yet. Wow. And that's where it's heading next. So those who go there are going to own their markets. They're going to be much more profitable, much more efficient. And those that don't are kind of going to struggle. It's that simple. We're the only industry that didn't go that way. And we're just starting to get there now.
Michael, that is incredible. And what a history on how technology has changed business and continues to do so, and how that the real estate industry really needs to catch up. And in fact, there are those like yourself who are up to speed on the latest technology when it comes to real estate sales and management. And folks, that's what we're talking about today. Technology has ended the 80-20 rule. Please hang in there with us. You've just heard a little bit from Dr. Krein. More to follow right after this commercial break.
I don't really remember the first time I dreamed about owning my own home. Do you? Take a second and think about your oldest memory, walking through a house and being able to call it your own. Your favorite music playing in the background. Your family and loved ones around you. And you're all celebrating. The American dream lives on. The power is now Buyers Club. Not having enough money is no longer an excuse. Saving up and waiting is no longer an option. We have access to lenders who are willing to give you a leg up when others are not. Though it may seem like it, not every lender is the same. The power is now, and it's yours to buy. We'd like to be there for you. Find us at thepowerisnow.com and own your home today.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power Is Now. My name is Eric Frazier, and I'm here with Dr. Michael Krein. Michael Krein has been sharing with us some great information on how to be successful in real estate. In fact, that's why it's called Real Estate Success Month for the month of March and April. And today we're talking about technology. And Michael, you just shared some great analogies on how technology has been and always will be a game changer in industry and in business and even in war. But since we understand this and we have witnessed this firsthand, why is it such a challenge for real estate agents and brokers to embrace technology? Why is it such a challenge for real estate agents and brokers to make the investment? I'm somewhat baffled by that.
I know, and it doesn't seem logical, and I don't think the reason's the same for everybody. I mean, everybody has aversions to change, and nobody likes to change the way they're doing things. As we get older, we become even more afraid of learning new things, or it becomes more difficult, or we perceive it as such. So I think that's part of it. The investment really isn't monetary. The products out there, and there's some really great stuff that's very inexpensive. I mean, everything I'm going to talk about, you can get for $10 a month.
Wow.
Okay. There's plenty of stuff out there, but you have several problems. We are real estate salespeople. We know real estate. We know how to sell. We're not computer science experts. And there are so many products for real estate people out on the market, but most of them were written by a bunch of computer geeks and said, hey, let's go tell realtors they need this. Let's give them a bright, shiny object to go after. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and some of it's good. A lot of it really isn't, but it's not even that. It's very confusing because most of the products out there only do one or two things, and that really doesn't help you. We were talking about the 80-20 rule of real estate, and if you look at some markets, it's like 93-7, meaning 7% of the agents and brokers are controlling 93% of the business. That is mostly due to technology. They all use technology, and they use it well. So there's also a synergy aspect. Different parts of technology do different things, but it's when you put the different pieces of technology that are available together that synergy develops. So it's kind of like investing. You invest $1, you get $1 back. Well, you do that 3 times, you've invested $3 and you've made $3. That's great. But when you have by the right technology that works together and you cover all the aspects that you need, that same $3 investment gets you $15 instead. And that's the part that everybody misses. So I think a lot of people are intimidated. Most of the brokers I talk to, it's not that they don't want to get technology. They just don't know what they should have. All right. They don't know what's out there, what works, what doesn't. And then there's a learning curve. And this is the one that I find just so frustrating. You know, an agent or a broker will go out there and spend 90 hours and a couple $100 to get a real estate license, but they won't spend 3 or 4 hours to learn how to actually make money. So yes, you're going to have to invest a couple hours in learning the software, a couple dollars in buying the software, but good technology can double anyone's production. So maybe you're an average agent, you're making 50 grand a year, which by the way, that's above average. I think the average nationally is under 30 right now. But let's call it 50, because I'm assuming if you're bothering to watch the show, you actually want to learn, you're probably a good agent, okay? Because the agents that do poorly don't pay attention to anything. But so the question is, would you spend a day? Would you take a day and spend a couple $100 bucks? And it's not even that. Like I said, you can get this stuff for $10 a month right now. Technology's cheap. Would you spend the day to double your income for the rest of your career?
Of course.
It sounds simple and it sounds very logical.
Right.
But people don't. And a lot of that's because agents and brokers, we manage by crisis. We're like little Pop-Tarts. We've got a deal going. Something happens. We drop everything to go save that deal. And so you just got to take a day. Take a day and put everything to the side. And if you do that, you can pretty much free up a lot of your time. You'll have more free time. You'll make a lot more money. And you'll probably be a lot happier. But you're going to have to invest a couple hours to learn something new and set something up. And that's regardless of whose technology, mine or anyone else's. So, but I think that's probably the biggest thing. They don't know what's out there. They don't know what they really need. They don't know what the capabilities are. And then they just can't find that one day. Just pick a day and set it up, and you can double your income and have more free time for the rest of your life. That's really what we did with our offices. We brought in the best technology. We were the early adapters. And my agents weren't working any harder than anybody else. They were just working that much more efficiently. And we can talk about all the different things that you can do. And half the things, actually probably 80% of an agent's time nowadays can be automated. You'd be amazed at the production increases you can get just by getting things done automatically for you instead.
Right. Okay, well, you've definitely explained the reason why. Let's hop into let's hop into some of the technology that agents need and should have in their business.
Well, there's a lot of things that agents need, and then there's a couple additional ones that a broker needs to run an office efficiently. The key is you have to have all of them. Most of you are using 1 and 2 right now, and that's great. And let's also define technology. A cell phone is not technology, okay? That is a tool. It's like, yes, you need a hammer to build a house, but just standing out in a vacant lot with a hammer is not going to get you a house built. There's other things you're going to need, materials, tools.
Right.
So understand that. So with that being said, the first thing that you're going to need is what's known as a CRM, Customer Relationship Manager. Now, there's a lot of those out there, and they'll do several things. But basically what a CRM is a database where you put your clients, past, present, future, and you manage them. That's what it does. But a standalone CRM is not going to help you. You need the other tools. You have to integrate it with your marketing and your lead generation, where it does follow-ups for you. It does drip campaigns, where it does lead incubation for you. There's 3 parts to that, and brokers and agents are great at lead generation. You can buy leads from the internet. You can run ads. Lead generation is easy. Lead incubation is what has to occur next, and we've talked about that in other shows. So you need a CRM that will pull and track all your buyers, your sellers, your past customers, but then it has to be able to integrate with something that does something with it, okay? So you need the lead generation, but then you need lead incubation. Now, the other thing you need is what's known as lead management. That's different. In other words, we've got this lead, we got it into our system, it's being followed up, they're getting emails and flyers, and we're incubating them and keeping in contact with them. But then who should be handling that lead? That's lead management. And I think for an agent, it's not really an issue. It's always you. For a team leader, it becomes a problem. For a broker, it becomes a really big problem. Like one of my pet peeves is brokers who use round robin lead management, okay, where it's fair, where each lead goes to the next agent in line. Yeah, it sounds fair. It's also costing you probably 70% of your revenue that you should have had instead. Okay, so a good lead management system should be able to assign based on the buyer and match it to the agent to get the best possible result and result in a closing. And I'm actually doing a whole lesson on that on Free Broker School because I think it's costing more brokers more money than they believe. Okay, just a good lead management system and understanding it and getting rid of a round robin can double an office's production really quickly. So lead generation, lead management, lead incubation, 3 things, but they all have to connect to that CRM. After that, you're going to need marketing tools. Now, when we talk about marketing is not necessarily the same as advertising. I mean, it can be, but you want to generate leads and you want people to call you. So that's about branding yourself, branding your company, giving people a reason to call and request more information, creating the right image in your community. All of those things add up to more sales, okay? And if you don't have good branding and good marketing, advertising, okay, you're not gonna get the full results. When you start putting these things together is when you get spectacular results. So that's part of it. You really need a dynamic website as well. Every agent should have their own website. The company should have a great website. And that website should be loaded with information that buyers want, okay? And you want to use that website to capture buyers, market to buyers, reaffirm the buyer's decision or need or want to work with you. So that's important. There should be an IDX in there, absolutely, by the way, and that's a whole nother topic. So, I mean, that's just the basic to get started. Then you need a transaction management system. Nobody should be pushing paper. Now, transaction management, a lot of people say, well, we have a paperless system. You should have a paperless system. There is no reason to be storing paper files anymore. It's time consuming, it's expensive, it's inefficient. But transaction management is more than just paperless. It's about what happens next and who does it. Keeps everybody on track. And a good transaction management system as to what happens next and who's doing what is also for compliance. It keeps you out of lawsuits. It keeps you out of division complaints. So you want transaction management. Then you want document management. That's what a good paperless system. A good paperless system just doesn't store it. A good document management system takes that document, stores it electronically, but in an organized manner within the system. So for example, a broker can look at an agent's file and say, okay, I've got these 8 documents, he's missing this disclosure. Click. Automatically notifies the agent to go get that disclosure. That's a document management system. Okay, and again, all these things have to work together. Then after that, you've got archiving document storage, which again is part of paperless because most brokers are required to keep their files for 5 to 7 years in each state. But the problem is, how do you get them back and how are they organized? Just backing up documents onto a hard drive somewhere, God forbid you ever need it. It'll take you days to find it. More importantly, if you do get into a lawsuit, if you can't produce the exact file specifically, the other attorney will just subpoena your entire data, all your stuff, and you don't want that. So a good document storage system stores each document within the property file itself, so you only have to go to that property file when you need something. Okay, very important. The next thing you're going to have is digital signature capability, e-sigs or electronic signatures. And there's several programs out there that do that, but that is where the business is going. Even mortgage origination is starting to go with digital signatures. And if you read TRID and what they're actually putting out with TRID TRID, they really encourage everything digital for the simple reason they can audit it and find you easier. So it's going digital no matter how you look at it. And there's products out there, and a lot of you use them now, but they're outside of the rest of your system. They're not connected to all the things I just mentioned. So one of the biggest problems with software, if you've got 5 different things doing 5 different products, doing 5 different things, you got to go back and forth between them. And sometimes they don't talk to each other so well. So it all needs to be integrated in one system. So a good digital or e-sig platform should be built in and tied to everything else. Your transaction management, when you need a signature from buyer, should store the document with your document management system. It should be there. The next thing you should have in your system is integrated email. 80% of our business is done by email now. That's just increasing. Remember that an email is part of the file. Anytime you communicate with that buyer, the seller, the attorney, the escrow, it is part of that file. It had better be there. Because if you get drawn in on a complaint or sued, or from a broker's perspective, your agent gets into a car accident, your agent leaves, you better be able to go in and pick up that file before you get yourself sued or lose the deal. So they should all be attached to it. So an integrated email system that's connected to all these other things and always connects to the property file. And on a side note, if you're a broker, don't ever let your agents use personal email accounts for business. Trust me, that's a big no-no, and you will get hurt very badly at it because of it sometime. So that should be in there. The other thing you need is, we all used to keep our little Franklin planners, our calendars, our appointment books. Now we keep them in our phone. Your calendar, your appointments, and your scheduling should all be integrated into the same system, because if it is, when something goes in on a file or something has to be done, workflow, and that's transaction management, will automatically put it onto your calendar for you. So it keeps you from forgetting things, and it saves a tremendous amount of time. That should also be integrated. And every agent should have their own calendar scheduling tied into their platform, and a broker should have one company-wide to keep the whole company running. Meetings, sales things, promotions, messaging going out, that's all there. So those are some of the things that you should have as a minimum. The next one you should be using is what's known as online offer submission. Some of you as agents out there, when you've written an offer on a property, typically bank-owned properties, they've been doing this for years because they get sued all the time and they know better and they learn real quick. Online offer submission is very important, and you should have it integrated to your system. Because if you're using a separate standalone platform, somebody's still got to take that information, put it into your transaction management system, put it into your company accounting system, I mean, it's a real pain. But an online offer management system tracks the offers coming in, the agents submit their offers electronically, fill out all the information, attach the documents. This is really important. You have two kinds of brokers, those that have been sued and those that are going to get sued. Welcome to reality of the real estate business. Okay, people are very litigious. Everybody gets ticked off when a deal goes south. Okay, you're going to end up in front of the division occasionally if your agent does something stupid or they make a mistake. It happens. Let me tell you a little secret. 80% of all lawsuits, division complaints, board hearings, the original issue that caused the problem started at the offer. That's where 80% of all of it comes from. So by using an electronic offer submission platform, you track all the offers, they're dated and time-stamped, the rejections, the counters, everything are logged. It is the greatest CYA to cover your ass ever. And it is fast and easy. If you get 5 offers on a property, you can counter them all electronically in 30 seconds, rather than spending hours going through them. That alone will free up, so much time and save you so much liability. But it only works if it's tied into the rest of your system, so all the information carries over. Otherwise, you're sitting there entering information all the time. And that's another reason why I think agents and brokers don't use technology. They don't want to sit there and have to type everything in. So if you use an integrated system, no matter where the information comes in, it only gets entered once and carried over to all the other locations. That's synergy. So definitely, online officer management, if you're a broker, you have to have this. It will save you a fortune down the line in lawsuits and legal fees. That was one of the best things we ever did. Now, the other thing is it's got to be truly mobile. Now, mobile is a funny definition. Technically, any website is mobile because you can open it up on your smartphone. Doesn't necessarily mean it really works well. Okay, like uploading photos from the field through Safari on an iPhone doesn't really work well. You need an app. So make sure it's a mobile solution, because you're going to find that more and more of your agents work from home. They work out in the field. They literally have to have their whole office available. And good technology and having all of these things on their iPad or their laptop, they can work anywhere in the world on the hood of their car, and it's the exact same as being in the office. It makes it so much more efficient. I mean, how many times over the years have you had to run back to the office to get a form, or to go get a contract, or to drop documents? Okay? And by the time you go get the paperwork, you need the seller or the buyers change their mind. You need it mobile. You need your whole office on that iPad at all times. That's what good technology will do. It should be no different if you're on the hood of your car with an iPad than if you're sitting in the office. You should have all the same capabilities and communications. So those are the basic ones that an agent needs. The key is they all have to work together. You don't want to buy 10 different systems. You don't want to learn 10 different systems. And you don't want to have to enter the same information 5 or 6 times. That's literally why I started Rio. Because when I was running my offices, we were the most tech-heavy office I've ever seen. If somebody did more, please tell me. I'd love to know how you did it. But we were running multiple systems, so I had to cross-train my staff. We had to enter the same information in 5 different spots. And God forbid I wanted to report on something, you had to pull the data from 5 different spots. It was not efficient. That's how this whole project got started.
Wow.
Because I said I was retired, and when I did, I was gonna write a system. It was based on what we built for our offices.
Right.
So now that'll cover agents.
Now, Mike, before you go to brokers, first, I just want to address one thing, and it's kind of amazing that you have laid out everything an agent really needs to be efficient, productive, and really current with technology, and recognizing who's buying today. Gen X, Gen Y, millennials are coming into the market, maybe not fully engaged yet, but they're going to get there. And when they are there, you better be ready to deal with them at a level they are in technology. And so you have just laid out for us everything you need to be efficient and effective. And the great thing about it is that anyone listening right now, you don't really need to go anywhere. You don't need to shop. You don't need to Google it. It's right here in front of you, folks. Michael's talking about a system that exists, and it's called Reogenesis. It's a platform where everything you've just laid out, they can have at very, very low cost. And so we're going to get into the cost of that at the end, but I just wanted to point that out, that everything you've laid out here, you're not just teaching us about what we need to have, but you're saying it's available, and it's available right now. Go to reogenesis.com. Am I right about that?
You are. I was doing this as an educational course, not as a sales pitch. But yeah, these are all the things that everybody needed, and nobody ever put them in one place.
Right.
Okay. So the efficiencies and the synergies we're able to create. I mean, I've got broker users, doing 300 and 400 transactions a year themselves.
Wow.
You have had the discussion that I think any agent can do 100 transactions a year.
That's right.
I believe that.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly. And if an agent isn't doing 100 transactions a year, at least it's because they don't want to.
Wow.
That's my belief, because the tools are there, the tech is there, and you can do it while still having a great life. I mean, whether you buy my system or not, you can find all of these items out there on the internet. Just search for them. You just not find them all in one place.
You're right.
And that's what we set out to build.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic, Mike. Before we go on, we're going to take a break and let this kind of soak in. Folks, we're going to take a short break. While we do that, you can listen to the commercial. You can check out real quickly, reogenesis.com. And we'll be right back with more from Dr. Michael Crine.
My name is Eric Frazier, and I'm a mortgage broker. And I have a program that can help you buy a home today. In fact, it's an FHA no-no. That means no money down, no closing costs. You need to call me. If you're serious about buying a home, don't procrastinate, don't wait, call today. These programs do not last forever. Interest rates are going up, housing is going higher. The time to buy is today. Apply to buy now. With Eric Frazier, mortgage broker.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power Is Now. My name is Eric Frazier, and I'm here with Dr. Michael Crine. And so far, he's been talking about the things that real estate professionals need to be efficient, productive, and leveraging technology. Michael, you've laid out some incredible systems that are needed. And what's so great about what you've laid out for us is that it all exists right now in Reogenesis. Folks, go to reogenesis.com and check out what Mike is telling you you can have right now available to you, in addition to getting this incredible platform. But you get Michael too, to support, to guide, to counsel, to mentor, to help you get those 100 transactions a year he's talking about that any agent can do. Well, he's not just saying it, folks. He has witnessed it, and he's had agents to do it, and he knows that anyone who applies some of the systems and the strategies and the tactics as he's talked about in this Real Estate Success Month, if you apply them, you will succeed. So, Mike, you've laid out agents. Now, what do brokers need, and those who are managing agents?
Well, first thing brokers need is they need agents. If you don't have any agents, you don't have an office. Okay, no agents, no sales. That's simple. So recruiting is a big part of it. But if you want to attract the best agents and you want good, productive, efficient agents, you as the broker are more than likely going to have to supply these tools. That's the reality of it. The agents usually won't do it themselves. You're kind of going to have to force them into it. You're going to have to go get the stuff. That's the first thing. You'll usually, as a broker, have to do it for the agents. And when I talk about production, I've had years where I've done over 3,400 transactions, just my team. That was a staff of 14. So don't tell me it can't be done. But we use technology heavily to accomplish that. So it can be. So from a broker or team leader, you need pretty much the same things, just on a different scale. First thing you need is reporting and management functions. Most brokers can't tell you how many transactions they have going at any moment, what their statuses are, what their cash flow will be for the next quarter, all of those tools. Now, all the other parts of the system I mentioned, like a transaction management system, once you have that, you can take all that data and create the financial picture right on the dashboard. Agents should be able to see all their deals, and just their deals, obviously. That's what a good system does. But every agent I know does this like once a month. They write down all their deals, their listings, their escrows. They try to figure out how much money they got coming in. You've done it. I guarantee you have, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a good system will pull out of the transaction management and create that financial dashboard for the agent. So the agent knows how much money they got coming in and what the timelines are. Well, you can then do that for the team of all the agents in the team so the team leader can see it. And then the broker should have that kind of reporting capability. They need to see how many transactions they've got, where they're weak, where they're strong, where their budget is, where their money is coming in. That should all be automated. And the fact is, if you're using a good transaction management system, all that data is already there, so you just need the reporting functions. So we built that in. See, once you have all these things in one place, you can create all these other functions with no effort. So good reporting and management. And I'm not just talking financial. You have to see what your agents are doing and know what they're doing. I'll give you a great example. If I have an agent that's doing 2 to 3 deals a month consistently, and all of a sudden they don't do any deals one month, I have a problem. Either the agent is sick and I better look into that. That's a reasonable excuse. They're going through a divorce or personal problem, and I need to go help them out with that. But typically when an agent's producing agent's production drops, they're upset about something, they're getting ready to leave. And you won't know it until after they walk out the door. That's usually how it happens. But when you can trend production and see it, and you can set up alerts, you can say, you know what, I got a problem with this agent. Let me go talk to him. And I can go, Eric, all right, something's going on. Just be honest with me. What can I do to help? Something's wrong. You're upset about something.
Right.
I can reclose and keep the agent. That's very important for retention, because unless you have a system in place, you can't spot it until it's too late.
Right.
Now, if you're in a very small office with 5, 6 agents, yeah, you know everybody what's going on. With 100 agents, you can't. So a good system will alert you to problems before they occur so you can fix them. So that's what good management and reporting functions are on. And you can see what markets you're penetrating, all sorts of different things, and analytics. Most brokerage offices do not have good analytics. They don't know what's going on with the business, where they're doing well, where they're not doing well. And the bottom line is, in any business, if it matters, you measure it, plain and simple. Okay? So it does that for you. Then you need an accounting system. All right? Somebody's got to calculate the agent's commission checks. Maybe you got to pay franchise fees, there's transaction fees. That should also all be automated. Because again, going back to an integrated system, if you've got the transaction system up and running, it already knows the sales price, what agent, what commission split they're on. So all the commission accounting can be done automatically as well. So you'll see GCI, CCI, company dollar, and you can look at things and you can adjust for graduated splits. That can all be set up once. Literally set it and forget it. And every time a deal closes, the system calculates everything, puts it right in your financial dashboard. End of the year, you just hand it to your accountant. I mean, that's the stuff brokers shouldn't be doing manually. You're either paying a bookkeeper 40 grand a year, or you're spending 4 hours a day yourself doing it. 4 hours a day is 20 hours a week. As far as I'm concerned, that's another sale you could have made. That just cost you 5 or 10 grand in commissions.
You're right.
Okay? Brokers don't work efficiently that way. Compliance is the next thing. And that goes back to transaction management, integrated email, paperless document management. Compliance is everything, especially when you have mobile agents. You need to know what they're doing, what documents are getting signed, and you need it in a simple, clear manner on a dashboard. And you need alerts when things are missing, because you don't want your real estate division showing up to check your files and go, oh, you're not using this disclosure. That's $10,000. Thank you very much for the fine. So a good compliance system. Now, the final thing that a broker needs, or a team leader actually needs more. Team leaders actually teams have a higher turnover rate than an actual brokerage office. When you're running a brokerage office, you have to assume about a 30% attrition rate. It means if you want 100 agents, you have to hire and recruit 30 new agents each year just to stay even. And if you want to grow, you have to do better. Teams then have a shorter life cycle and higher attrition. So recruiting is everything. And most brokers don't recruit. They don't like doing it. Agents have to prospect. Well, not if they have good systems. Let the systems do the prospecting. But the old rule of real estate for agents was 80% of your time should be spent prospecting. Okay? Agents hate prospecting. It sucks. Nobody likes cold calling and door knocking. I get that. So good technology will do your prospecting for you. Now let's look at a broker's role. A broker's role is not to sell houses, but to hire agents to sell houses, to recruit. Recruiting is the lifeblood of a brokerage office. And the reality is, if you have a good recruiting program, because the more agents you have, the more deals you get, it's very simple. Agents equal deals. It's not complicated. Everybody tries to overcomplicate the management of a brokerage office. But brokers, to them, recruiting is like prospecting. They hate doing it. Okay? But all of your problems can be solved by recruiting. I learned that a long time ago. So what we did is we built an automated recruiting system as well. And again, there's other ones out there. Ours just happens to be tied into the rest of the system. And because we have all these data points, we can be a lot more effective. Remember I was talking about like the online offer submission? Well,
Yep.
when you're recruiting agents, you want to target productive agents in the marketplace. Well, where are they? They're the ones putting offers in on your system, so you can see them. So the system can automatically identify producing agents and then start recruiting them and putting marketing campaigns out to them. So a broker has to have an automated recruiting program, or you're never going to grow. And if anything, if you don't recruit, you'll shrink naturally just by attrition. So those are the things that, there's other ones that are built in there. But when you can get all of these things all working together in one system, life gets really easy. But you have to have them all to get the real benefits. Picking one or two, or this little system or that little system, it's usually more trouble than it's worth, which is why some agents don't like technology, because they're doing it in piecemeal and it's not efficient. And they go, it's not really worth it. Well, no, it's probably not. You have to get all of them in one place, all working together, and life will get so much easier. That's how you get massive production. That's how you get free time, and that's how you make money. And this is where the industry is going. Just like we talked about, the restaurants have a system, end to end, or cradle to grave, point to point, whatever you want to call it. So does a doctor's office, dentist office. The auto repair shop calls me every 6 months or when my tires are worn out. Their system tells me these things.
Right.
The real estate industry was the one industry for brokerage that did not have a complete system end to end that handled everything for both agents and brokers. And that's what had always pissed me off, which is why I retired. I said, I'm going to go write one. All right. It was the one thing that was missing. So that's kind of what it is.
Now, Mike, you invested a lot in building a system, and you have made all the mistakes that you've talked about here.
Yeah, I have.
And so you know how expensive it can get trying to buy this system and that system. And if you're like me, you're always looking. I never say no to a presentation. I'm always interested in what people are selling, what new technology is coming out. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to write the check and just to see, because I want an edge. I want an advantage. I'm looking for an edge, man. And I know I'm not the only one like this.
No.
I know. So money, though, ultimately is the biggest objection, right? It's the hurdle for most people.
No, money is not the biggest objection.
Okay.
It really isn't. All right, we've priced the system down to where for an average office, it'll cost you about $10 per month per agent.
Wow.
Okay, it's Starbucks. That's not the problem. You know what we run into is brokers are on old systems that only do a few things and they hate to change.
Okay.
Or we've run into, and this happens more with our institutional clients. We have bank servicers, outsourcers on the platform, hedge funds. We have different systems. I'm only talking about the real estate brokerage part. We have other stuff. But you've got brokers who've tried to write their own systems, and maybe they've spent 50 or 100 grand, and they're so proud of it. And you know what? Hey, great effort, guys. I'm into this system for $12 million, and I knew what I was doing. What I needed. I didn't know the programming that I went through a lot of issues with.
Right.
But the bottom line is they've invested in the system, and they're not willing to walk away from the bad investment. Sometimes you got to write something off and start over because you made. Yeah, that's what I run into all the time, especially with small regional offices where they have 5, 6 offices. Yeah, they spent 100 grand, and then they're paying somebody 60 grand a year to keep it running.
Right.
Okay, because now you got to support it, and then you got to host it, which costs you a couple grand a month. And even though I can come in and say, okay, I'm going to get you 10 times more than you have, it's going to run you $1,000 a month for your office. They'll say, and it'll save you a $60,000 salary, $10,000 in hosting fees, and you're getting so much more. And they still go, but I didn't want to waste the money I already spent.
Right.
Okay, you're great. You're going to compete against the office across the street that is going to use my system. Okay, so the one thing I would say, trying to write your own system is not cost effective. You can't do it. And there are a lot of brokers that have kind of strung together little databases and cute little stuff. And hey, I appreciate the effort. I congratulate you because at least you tried, because that's how I started. I had to build my own stuff because there was nothing out there.
Right.
But it's not the cost of the system. The cost is cheap right now. And we've covered the investment. It's they're too attached to what they already have and won't let it go for the wrong reasons.
Wow. Well, I think you're right. That is the truth. And I've heard that sentiment by many agents. And you get used to something, you've spent a lot of time learning it, you've invested in it, and you don't want to change. And you said that from the outset. Agents don't want to change, and that's one of the reasons why they are where they are. And you have the power to change, and the power is now.
Exactly. But you might love your little Chevy Caprice.
Right.
Business is war. It's a competition. And, I love companies that talk about we're a team here.
Right.
Yes, real estate is a solo sport. Okay. If you sell a house, I don't get paid.
Right.
Agent. You don't get paid when the other agents sell houses, do you? Okay. But the reality is you're always competing.
Right.
And you want to be in like that Chevy Impala and somebody else pulls up in a Ferrari, who's going to win that race?
Oh, the Ferrari, for sure.
Okay. That's the problem. You're going to have to let it go. You may love that Chevy Impala to death.
Right.
You may love that car like a child. Okay. But the bottom line is it's no longer competitive for you. You're going to have to let it go. And you're going to have to get with what's modern. And again, whether it's my stuff or somebody else's, that's what you're going to be competing against going forward. And we've only seen the tip of the iceberg as far as the technology change in real estate. There is so much more coming. And I think more and more people are going to get left behind even faster in the next 2 years.
Well, if they get involved with Real Genesis, they'll be prepared for the future, because you're constantly improving and making Real Genesis ready for the next generation, for the next group, for the next, and for all the innovation and technology that's taking place right now. So by getting engaged now on a platform like this, agents are preparing themselves for the future business opportunities to come. So Michael, let's wrap this up with a final word and recommendations from all the great information you shared with us today. And folks, if any of this resonates with you, if you are thinking about your situation and you want to get some further counseling, they can call you, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. My entire sales pitch for my software is mine works. That's the whole sales pitch. It's always like, ours works. All right, it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it easily, and it does it well.
Mine works.
I will say 3/4 of the questions and emails or calls that we get into the office are not about the software. Once we get somebody set up, after the first 30 days of training them and configuring it for them, we never hear from them about that, very rarely, because it works.
Right.
But our entire staff is all real estate people, okay, from different parts of the real estate industry. So we've kind of become like, I don't know, almost like an unfranchise.
Right.
We're partners. That's how we look at it. So the majority of questions and emails that we deal with are, how do I do this? And not about the software, but how do I pay my staff? How do I get more leads? Or how should I be doing this? So we've kind of become the real estate consulting company as well, all in one thing.
Okay.
So at software, we're kind of like your consultants or your coach.
Right.
And that's kind of what we became. So yeah, anybody's free to call anytime. And that's usually what I spend most of my time doing. And most of my staff is actually helping our users with their business. Hey, I got a problem with this agent. How do I deal with this? Or this guy wants to sue me. How do I get out of it? I mean, can't promise to solve everything, but all of us at the company are all longtime, hardcore real estate brokers, and we all have real estate backgrounds. So we're kind of like the business. We look at it as we're in a business partnership. What do you need? Call us. We'll try and help. So that's kind of where it's become. So no, I don't mind the calls. It's what I do all day.
So Michael, for those who might be listening on Blog Talk Radio, why don't you give them the telephone number to reach you at the office? And for those of you, of course, who are watching on the Powers Now TV, it's right there on the screen.
Oh, not a problem. The best thing to do is just to go to riogenesis.com. All of our contact info is up there. My email's there. My phone is up there. You have a problem, call and ask. That's what we do. And we've been doing so much of this that I started this site called Free Broker School.
Yes.
All right. And that was also another one of my little retirement projects, because I swore I was always going to do it because I don't agree with a lot of the training that's out there. And we've discussed that at other shows. But Free Broker School is everything you ever needed to know, but no one else will ever teach you. Not politically correct. You may not like what you hear, but I will promise you're going to get the truth, and we actually solve real problems, and this is how you get it done. Okay? And this is how you become profitable, because that's why you're there. So if you need more information, need help, I've got so many topics covered on Free Broker School. They're all there for you. You can search. It's free. And I've actually got brokers and Rio users that are using my Free Broker School videos to train their agents, because we're doing a whole series on agents production. Kind of some of the topics we've covered on the shows here, but you're free to use them. They're totally free. I didn't copyright them. Anybody can pass them around. Have fun with it. And I guarantee you, you can not only increase your office production and have an easier life, you can actually get your agents doing much better as well. So you're doing them a favor. And it's all free. Have a ball with it. We just want to be everybody's partner.
That's awesome. Freebrokerschool.com. Well, final words, Michael, for this great show. Technology. Man, this has been fantastic, and I hope that our audience, our listeners, our viewers will take advantage of the Real Genesis platform and the opportunity to talk to you further about how they can take their business to the next level. So any final words for our audience before we end this great segment?
The only advice I can really give that I think applies to everyone is that the business is always changing, and it's changing at a much faster rate, and you need to change with it. Whatever you did last year to be successful may not work this year to be successful. So whether it's software, technology, looking at the market differently, moving to another office, changing your advertising, everything is always changing. Don't be afraid of change, and don't be afraid to learn and try new things.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to make the time for it. 4 hours now to save 1,000 hours next year, that's a bargain. Just do it already, okay? Do it. Oh, one last thing. Have fun. The strange thing is when you're having fun, the money comes anyway. So every day, get out of bed and say, I'm going to go have fun today. Screw with people, joke around with people, have fun. When you're having fun, you're in a better mood, you sell better, people are attracted to you. Everything works when you decide to have fun. So that would be my best advice.
Michael, that is great advice. Life is short. So we should have fun. Someone said we should eat our dessert first, because you just never know what's in store for you. So why not have fun? And I've heard someone say also that the only thing constant in life is change. And so we should embrace change, be ready for change, expect change, know that change is coming to your door or street or neighborhood real soon. So get ready. Well, folks, we've had a wonderful time talking to Dr. Krein about technology, and I certainly hope that you've enjoyed this show. And if so, please reach out to us and let us know. For those of you who are watching the Powers Now TV, you're online at thepowersnow.com. Please check us out. Check out all the different things that we do and the services we provide. And for those of you who are listening on Blog Talk Radio, please share this show with everyone you know. Put the link on your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn. And this is free information. And in fact, not only is it free here on the Powers Now, but you can go to freebrokerschool.com, and get more of Dr. Michael Krein and how to be successful as a real estate professional. Well, this is another wrap of The Power Is Now. Remember, we are at our best and we maximize our success when we act now. Thank you for joining us. Have an awesome day. See you soon right here on The Power Is Now.